Hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of Flushing Meadows Fishery and we're in search of carp. As always, when I come to these type of venues, we're going to be trying something new today. We're going to be trying to fish the Pellet Waggler over that far bank, and then something a bit more familiar later on. We're going to be fishing meat down the margin. It's always exciting when you're going to be trying something new, and yeah, I'm sure today there's going to be ups and downs with us catching the far bank and learning, and that's what it's all about, having fun and learning new methods along the way. Been putting a bit of pellet over there so you can see the coots have found it already, the bits that have gone on the bank. We are joined on the bank today with plenty of good company. We've got my Uncle Hazard, who you see on the river quite regular, his two lads. We've got one of my mates Curly down there as well, and to the right we've got blog regular Gary and Mitzi. So plenty of good company on the bank, and it looks like we're going to get the weather as well. Blue skies and hopefully plenty of bites. So the plan for the session, nice and simple, and the side tray matches it as well. We've got plenty of meat for down the margin for later on, and then we've got plenty of the hinders pellets. We've got some 8 mils carp pellets, I think they're 4 mils, and then we've got some 6 mils as well. With them pellets, my plan is just to keep firing the pellets over there and then fish that big 8 mil pellet over the top. I'll put a link to the top of the screen now. Last time we come on here and we did fish the pole over there, so I'm hoping that by going over there with the Waggler, it's going to be a bit of fun on the rod catching some of them carp. So for fishing the Pellet Waggler, I've gone with my 13-foot Corvum Glide. It's a rod that I've had loads of carp on over the years, you know, dace, chub, barbel. It is a lovely little rod. I've teamed that up with a Corvum switch reel, and on there I've got 8-pound line. So this method is obviously a popular one on commercials and probably not new to many people, so there's probably mistakes on it, so do forgive me. I'm going with a 4-gram Preston Pellet Waggler. I've got that locked in place with a float kit. Got no weight down the line at all, and that's down to a size 12 hook and a banded pellet. I've set the rig deep enough so it just sits on the bottom on that far back margin when it settles, so hopefully we get best of both worlds. We get the drop of the pellet against the far bank, and then with a bit of tow on the water, I'm hoping it's just going to keep that pellet on the bottom a bit. Before we do start though today, there's 2 things that are almost certain. Number 1, we're probably going to catch some carp. Number 2, we're definitely going to end up in a bit of grass out me. While setting up, I've been firing pellets over there, so hopefully there's 1 or 2 carp on that little trail of bait that's been going in. My hope is to get as close to the bank as possible, obviously, but just to feed a bit of an area over there and just try and attract a couple of carp in, and then we're going to have a cast over the top and just leave that pellet like that, so the pellets touch the far bank, the float's a bit further forward, there is a bit of tow, but I'm hoping when that pellet touches the bottom it's just going to slow that tow down a bit. And there we go. You see, if you get that cast just right against the far bank, it goes straight away. And this is the beauty of commercials, isn't it? And why I do enjoy coming them. You can have a bit of fun, and there is a margin of error, you know, because there's a lot of fish in them, so you can try new things and it doesn't have to be perfect to work. And there we go, the first one of the day, and coming on a new method, always exciting. Let's get him straight back and let's get back out there. Like you see now, I was just talking to my uncle. I didn't even look and the rod nearly got pulled out of my hand. And they're not the biggest carp in the world, but I'm hoping that they'll come later down the margin. But it's just good to be getting a couple of bites on a new method. And there we go, as soon as it hits that far bank, it's where you've got to be. If you come too far off it, you just don't get the bite. But there's quite a few silvers in the swim. It is that fine line, and I knew it was going to be difficult today just trying to get that right, because obviously it's only a short, narrow canal, and you know from experience you've got to be in that last third, but when it lands right, it buries almost instantly. When you get it right and it goes next to the far bank, it goes instantly, and it's good to be catching these carp on the float rod. Just coming tight to that far margin on that big pellet. You can see there straight away, but most definitely if you land close to the bank near them little sedges, it goes almost instantly. I'm just keeping the bait going in and just keep the bites coming. Lovely scale pattern that one's got, lovely oranges in its tail and excellent condition.
A new place, a new home. For a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A nomad passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
So at the moment we're on about 1 in about 15 casts going in the right spot, but when it does, the results are there and it buries straight away. They're sucking along that far bank all the time, and when you land on it, that float just sinks away and you're into another carp. There's just something about catching them on the float, like I said earlier, and the rod. You know, I've been on here before when I've had bite after bite on the pole, but one on the float rod just feels like worth 10 on the pole. Another one of those lovely carp, nice and scaly, and that orange hue. So I've just hooked into another one on that far bank, and I've just seen the first sign down there. I don't think you can see it on the camera, but it's covered in mud and really clouded up now. I've just seen a tail go up that bank, so it's a good sign, because it is a lot of effort to get these bites over there. It's a lot of casting when you think you could just go on your top kitting a bit, and it is a lot easier, isn't it? But it has been great fun catching them like this, and that is most definitely the best one of the day. There we go. As soon as it hits that far bank, you might have just heard Gary then say they come to the noise. He's most definitely right. That plop of the pellet and maybe the float even, but they are definitely coming to that noise now, and it's mad how shallow you're fishing that it doesn't seem to bother them. And there's nothing coming down the margin at the moment, but the fish on the far bank most definitely getting bigger. You can see over there now if I zoom in, loads of carp over there sucking against that far bank. There we go, the best one of the day so far. Just coming on that Pellet Waggler. There's nothing coming down the margins yet, but the float bedded and a good fight on that glide rod, most definitely. Beautiful condition. Let's get it straight back and see if we can get another. So it's been a mad kind of day really, with the margin down there. Seen the odd fish come in, but nothing settled. But over there, so this margin when I plumbed it up was a good margin really, but it's proved very difficult. There hasn't been really the competition of fish come in, but one kept coming down here. It's a mirror, and you can just see all the mucky water there where it's bolted out the swim. He isn't getting away with it now if we can get him in. Just bolted out the swim at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And hopefully we've got the first carp down the margin. So right at the very last knockings, they've just arrived. Just getting 1 or 2 now down this margin. That has taken most of the day for them to come in and be competitive. But when you get a couple in, a bit like chub, they lose that air of caution and they become quite easy to catch rather than really hard. It's been great getting them fish over there, and now just getting 1 or 2 down the margin. An absolutely amazing condition really, considering how popular this fishery is. On the last one that we got, I did see it coming and I meant to record it. I didn't make the mistake that time. I got the camera out and hopefully it's come out on film. Coming straight in and bolting out, but to be honest with you, they've all been few and far between. There hasn't been the numbers coming in to get the competition that you need, really. You know, there's been one or two coming in like that. And really, you need, you know, a few more to get that competition going. Like always, there's a bit of a wet line and a washing line going on, but I'm sure he'll come back. Just take a time and try and get him in. So we're ending the vlog on a nice little midder down the margin. I really have enjoyed today, like I just said. There's plenty of carp on the top and it feels like spring and summer has arrived. All that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing. It'd be great if you can like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.